A warning to viewers like you. Avenue Q is a PG-13 musical. Parental discretion is advised. Likewise, adult themes may be alluded to in this coverage, so personal scrutiny is encouraged. The Pueblo Star Journal thanks you. How can an award-winning raunchy puppet musical be improved? More puppets, of course. A local specialty props and puppet fabrication company stepped up to give Pueblo the best version of Avenue Q they have to offer. Avenue Q is an adult-themed Sesame Street parody. The musical follows Princeton, a recent college graduate who moves to a cheap neighborhood with lively neighbors as he reckons with the harsh but hearty realities of adulthood. The residents tackle topics like racism, charity, and sexuality in its many forms. Wynot Productions co-owners Cory Moseman and Sammy Gleason have produced Avenue Q before, in 2016, where they kept things relatively simple if challenging. Though with the amount of care this company puts into their character creation, Gleason indicated that our definitions of simple are different.
It was the two of us who built all of the puppets for that production. Yeah, in 1 month we built 15 or 16. We built them in a month without really any knowledge of what we were doing. So it was a very fun, fly by the seat of our pants situation that, as I said, now we are in much better skill set to be able to produce some really lovely things.
Moseman said that the company was looking for a way to showcase their enhanced ability in puppet design since 2016 and take on a fun challenge.
It's like, let's just pick a show that we really want to do, and let's do it to the best of our ability with the best local talent that we can get, and just put on something that I would be proud to see, and me as a theater goer would have a good time.
As makers, the Wynot team made certain to give credence to their goal, making sure to inject their own spin on the award-winning musical.
And so what we wanted to do, without necessarily doing any rewriting of the script, because that's not within our purview or the rights that you can do when you perform it, create a slightly bigger world of puppets that feels more akin to what you would see on the Muppet Show classically in the 70s, or in some of those early movies, or on Sesame Street, even more particularly, given that that is what this show is sending up and sort of referencing. Thus the expansion from 2 to 6 Bad Idea Bears, and we've extended our cast with a lot of ancillary supporting ensemble puppeteers that wouldn't necessarily be in a cast as you were doing it according to the script, who don't necessarily play named characters, but they just allow us to have a bit more puppet presence on the stage in big numbers and things like that, just so it feels a little bit more immersive.
The 2004 puppet maker Rick Lyon designed the original puppets, creating a look often sought after in later productions.
He's an amazing designer, puppet builder, and puppeteer. We were trying not to do his puppets, because so often when I see this show, that's what's being done, is they're just regurgitating his designs. And hey, if you're going to do Rick's stuff, rent Rick's, because he rents those puppets. So just go to the guy and use his stuff. Sam and I had talked for years about it would be fun to revisit Avenue Q. And it was like, well, let's just do it. But let's do it big. Let's do it bigger, because we had done that other version of it, which was the more straightforward, traditional, smaller cast kind of stuff. And it was like, let's go to town. Like, let's puppet up this thing. And let's redesign all the puppets and build new puppets. Because, we have all the puppets from before, and we could have used them, but it was like, let's do something new. And also, our ability as builders and designers is vastly different than what it was, 7 or 8 years ago.
There are 20 new puppets in this production, deviating from the typical 9 main and supporting felted characters.
It was like, okay, how are we beating into our aesthetic, our look on the way we do features, or the way that these puppets will look? What were the things that we liked that kind of worked before? I'm real fond of our design that we did on Rod and Trekkie from before, so we revisited the design but improved it.
The craftsmanship of puppet making isn't literally surface level. Gleason explains how critical it is to have a neck sleeve for each puppet for functionality.
So the neck sleeve allow you just an easy access channel to get up inside, so you're not fumbling to fight. And so they get glued onto the bottom of the foam skulls, but then they have a boning channel that's run down here to sort of keep everything open, but it can be squished, so as you pull up a body, that can be put down inside. And then there's Velcro tabs that sort of hold the neck at the length that it needs to be, but then it's easy to get up inside there.
Avenue Q is undeniably quirky, but it holds a special place for Moseman, who has a heart for the genuine above all.
Because I love that show. It's such a good show. And, you know, it's, even though it's got the, you know, it's adult and hard R at times, it's still a good story. And really, that's all I care about. Just tell a good story. You know, I will go along for anything if it's a good story and it's got heart to it. And it's, you know, it can be an amateur production, it can be kids, it can be whatever, as long as there's truth in the storytelling. And it can be serious or it can be super ridiculous.
Gleason shares why theater and theater making is so important to them.
It's its own unique animal and organic experience, and it's we've got some really special brewing, and I can't wait for folks to see it. Come out and see something that is being locally produced in this, I think, theatrically across the state. There's certain areas that get a lot of the attention, and that automatically in people's minds translates to better talent, and places that don't get as much attention. And I think the level of talent that exists in this city and what we've been able to collect together to produce this show belies what a lot of folks think exists here. And so then I would just encourage folks to come out, not only to see a great show, to see a production that's put together well, but to see talent that is homegrown here in Pueblo, that exists here, that blows folks away. It really does.